Welcome to Honeybee. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Real stories of love, lies, and betrayal, where every truth stings. Let's begin. My wife told me she loved me every single day for 6 years. At the same time, she was lying directly to my face every single day for 4 of those years. And even now, I honestly don't know which of those truths hurts more. My name is Daniel, and I'm 32 years old. I had a steady job, a simple 3-bedroom home in the suburbs with a small backyard, and a wife named Caroline, who I believed was perfectly suited for me. At that point, we had been married for 6 years and together for 8, including the 2 years we dated before I asked her to marry me. I met Caroline at an event, and something about her drew me in immediately. I walked over and introduced myself without really knowing why. We talked for a while, and by the end of the evening, I knew I wanted to see her again. We met up a few more times, and eventually, things became serious. We dated for 2 years before I proposed. During that time, we talked about all the important things. I was always clear about wanting to be a father one day. It wasn't just a passing thought. It was a dream I had carried since I was a teenager. I grew up watching my own dad. He was my hero, and I wanted to give that same kind of childhood to my own child someday. So when Caroline and I started talking seriously about our future, I made sure she understood exactly where I stood. She didn't hesitate at all. She told me she wanted the same life. She said she had always imagined herself as a mother and wanted at least 2 children, maybe even 3 if we could afford it. I proposed on a Saturday evening in October, right in her parents' backyard during a family dinner. Her entire family was there, and when she said yes, everyone erupted into cheers. We got married the following spring in a small ceremony at a local church. We were surrounded by people who loved us and wished us happiness. I truly believed I was stepping into the best chapter of my life. After the wedding, we moved into our little suburban home. We spent the first year fixing things up and making it feel like ours. Every choice we made seemed focused on the family we planned to build together. After our first year of marriage, we decided to start trying for a baby. Caroline told me she stopped taking birth control, and we began the process so many couples go through. At first, it was exciting. We treated it like an adventure. Each month felt like a fresh chance, and we joked about baby names and debated whether our first child would be a boy or a girl. But then time passed. 3 months went by with no pregnancy, then 6 months, then a full year. The excitement slowly faded into worry, and eventually into a quiet anxiety that neither of us openly talked about, but both of us constantly felt. Disappointment became a routine. I lost track of how many times we went through the same cycle. Hope, waiting, crushing disappointment, and then renewed determination to try again. Every negative test made me question myself more. I began wondering if something was wrong with me, if I was the reason we couldn't conceive. Without telling Caroline, I scheduled an appointment with a fertility specialist. I wanted to rule myself out as the problem. The results came back normal. My sperm count was healthy, my motility was fine, and the doctor told me there was no medical reason on my end that would prevent pregnancy. I felt relieved, but also more confused than ever. If it wasn't me, then what was wrong? That question followed me for months without an answer. Until one completely ordinary Tuesday evening 6 months ago, when everything I believed about my marriage collapsed. I came home early that day because I wasn't feeling well. Normally, I would have texted Caroline, but my phone was almost dead, and I thought I'd just surprise her. I pulled into the driveway around 4 in the afternoon, about 2 hours earlier than usual. The house was quiet when I walked in, and I assumed Caroline was upstairs. I set my bag down in the kitchen and headed toward our bedroom to change out of my work clothes. As I walked down the hallway, I noticed the bathroom door was slightly open, just enough to see movement inside. I wasn't trying to spy. I was simply passing by. But something made me stop. Through the narrow opening, I saw Caroline standing at the sink, partly turned away. She was holding a small pill bottle. I watched as she quickly put something in her mouth and swallowed it with water from the tap, then shoved the bottle into her makeup bag. It lasted only a few seconds, but the image burned into my mind. When Caroline stepped out of the bathroom and saw me standing there, Her expression changed. For a brief moment, something crossed her face. Fear, maybe guilt, but it vanished so quickly I almost convinced myself I imagined it. She smiled and asked why I was home so early, her voice perfectly calm. I told her not to worry and casually asked what she had just taken, even though my heart was beating faster. Without hesitation, she said it was her allergy medication and explained she'd been taking it daily because pollen levels were high. She said it so smoothly that I accepted it without question. We went downstairs, started making dinner, and talked about other things. But later that night, lying beside her, I couldn't stop replaying the moment in my head. Something about her reaction felt off. The rushed movement, the flicker of panic. None of it matched her explanation. I told myself I was overthinking it. Caroline was my wife. She had no reason to lie to me about allergy pills. Still, in the weeks that followed, the feeling that something was wrong wouldn't go away. I started noticing things I never had before. She always took her so-called allergy medication in private. I never saw the bottle sitting out. It was never in the medicine cabinet. It was always hidden, in her makeup bag or purse. And whenever I walked into the bathroom while she was in there, she would tense up briefly before relaxing again. I wanted to believe there was an innocent explanation. Maybe I was projecting stress from fertility struggles. But the doubts kept growing, feeding on every small inconsistency. Something wasn't right, and I was finally starting to see cracks in what I believed was a solid marriage. The weeks after that incident were torture. I went back and forth between trusting my wife and trusting my instincts. Part of me felt guilty for doubting her. Another part kept reminding me that allergy medication doesn't require secrecy. People don't hide antihistamines unless they're hiding something else. I knew I needed the truth. About 3 weeks later, Caroline left for work before me one morning. I pretended I had a late start, kissed her goodbye, and watched her drive away. Then I went straight upstairs. I searched her makeup bag first. Nothing. I checked her nightstand, her jewelry box, her coat pockets. Still nothing. I was about to stop when I noticed an old purse on the top shelf of her closet, dusty and unused. Something told me to check it. Inside a small zipper pocket, I found it, a prescription bottle. I pulled it out and read the name. I didn't recognize it. I searched it on my phone, and within seconds, my stomach dropped. It wasn't allergy medication. It wasn't for any ordinary condition. It was a fertility-blocking contraceptive designed to stop ovulation entirely. I reread the information over and over, hoping I was wrong. But every source said the same thing. The room felt like it was spinning. 4 years, we had been trying for a baby, and the entire time, Caroline had been preventing it. Every cycle, every disappointment, every ounce of suffering, it was all built on a lie. She watched me question myself, schedule doctor visits, and endure heartbreak while knowing exactly why we weren't conceiving. I thought we were a team. Instead, she was pretending. I remembered everything I had done to improve our chances. I gave up alcohol, changed my underwear, took supplements, went through humiliating fertility tests while she held my hand, and told me how brave I was. She even talked about IVF with me, researched clinics, and discussed costs, all while knowing it would never work. I didn't go to work that day. I sat in the dark living room, holding the pill bottle, waiting for her to come home. When she did, she walked in cheerful and unaware. Then she saw me in the bottle. Her smile vanished. I asked one simple question. What is this? The silence said everything. She couldn't explain because there was nothing to explain. The truth came out in fragments. She admitted she'd been taking the pills for years. She never wanted children. She lied because she knew I would leave if she told the truth. She cried. She begged. She said she loved me. She said the lie grew too big to escape. She said she thought she was protecting us. But all I heard was 4 years of choices to deceive me. I moved into the guest room that night. Sleep didn't come for days. Anger and grief traded places constantly. I questioned every memory, every word she'd ever said. I contacted a divorce lawyer quietly. When I hung up, I realized my marriage had ended years ago. I just hadn't known it yet. She tried everything to win me back. Notes, meals, promises, therapy offers, transparency. None of it mattered. You can't fix a broken foundation with fresh paint. Eventually, I understood the truth clearly. This wasn't about disagreeing over children. It was about deception. She took away my right to choose. She replaced my reality with a lie. 5 weeks after discovering the pills, I told her I wanted a divorce. She begged. She promised she would have children if I stayed. But I couldn't accept that. I didn't want a child born from coercion. And I couldn't trust someone capable of such sustained deception. Even after filing, she kept trying. Friends and family reached out on her behalf. They didn't understand. They couldn't. They saw a mistake. I saw stolen years. What I've learned is this. Love without honesty is a cage. Trust is everything. Once it's broken, nothing built on it is safe. I'm still healing. I'm still grieving. But I'm hopeful. Somewhere out there is a partnership built on truth. Somewhere is a family I still dream of. It won't happen in this marriage. Caroline and I are done. Some trust cannot be repaired. And some lies can never be forgiven.